It's the ultimate travel guide from the people who know it best. Weekends with Yankee.
I don't think about furniture a lot. It's just kind of there in the background. But some of my best, most intense, meaningful memories with my family happened around the table, where we laughed or told stories and ate or played games or argued. Which is why today feels so meaningful, because I'm seeing a community come together around this idea of the table and its importance in the lives of families and communities.
Testing. Can everyone hear?
Charles Shackleton, with his wife, Miranda Thomas, co-founded The Naked Table and also Shackleton Thomas Furniture and Pottery Company.
Thank you guys for being here. There are 22 nonprofits from this local area represented, all catering to youth in this community. However fancy this community may look, there are a lot of people who are in need in some way or other.
Ever since I was a kid at boarding school, I was like a straight D student. I thought I was stupid, but I thought perhaps there's some other stupid people out there who love to make things with their hands.
Right.
And perhaps they have a different way of communicating with the world.
This event is not just to raise money. We are building tables, but we're also building community.
So what is the Naked Table Project and how does it work?
As the hashtag says on our stickers, tables connect us. And I've always had an obsession with big community events. Long story short, there was a group called Sustainable Woodstock, and they were looking for community projects. And I said, why don't we make a table out of a tree? And so we've got 60 people under the tent who are from all walks of life around this community working together to make a table, each sponsored by generous local patrons. They will then carry those tables to the bridge, sit around it with community members, and enjoy locally grown food, locally grown flowers, and locally made pots by my wife.
Beautiful.
That's the Naked Table Project.
What do you call this kind of construction?
So what we have here is draw peg construction, has been around for years.
Hugh Shackleton is Charlie and Miranda's son. He's the manager of the Shackleton Thomas business and is a major force for the Naked Table Project.
You have your mortise, which is your pocket, and you have your tenon, which is on the end of your skirt, which goes into the mortise.
Tendon?
Tenon.
Tenon, okay.
No D.
No, it's not a body part.
That's
okay.
right. So in draw peg construction, the holes on the end of your tenon are offset from the holes in your leg.
Okay.
So when you bang the peg in, it draws the skirt in tight to the leg.
Oh, I get it.
So
It's
essentially, you
tension.
don't need clamps.
Wow. I don't see any metal parts.
No metal parts whatsoever. It's all natural wood and old style assembly.
So how did you choose the wood that the tables are being made from?
Sugar maple is an iconic Vermont tree. It so happens that this area of Vermont has just the right soils for growing beautiful maple. It also so happens that the Marsh-Billings Rockefeller National Park has sustainably harvested maple wood.
Can't get much more local than that.
Exactly.
Well, welcome, table makers. Gather up around here so we don't have to shout too loud. Marsh-Billings Rockefeller is one of the oldest continuously scientific managed forests in the country. So you're walking through a very special landscape, and the wood from your tables came from this strong association of people taking care of the land. The story starts with George Perkins Marsh, who grew up here as a boy. If you could picture it, the forest during Marsh's day was very different than the forest that you and I experience. All of these trees were not here. In fact, 80% of Vermont's forest was cut down to make way for agriculture and sheep raising. And walking around as a boy, he noticed some of the disastrous effects of that deforestation and stuck with him. He eventually took all of that experience and put it together in a book called Man and Nature, which was published in 1864. And that book kicked off the environmental movement in the United States. And it was Frederick Billings, who grew up just down the road in Royalton, who picked up that book and started to put in practice some of Marsh's philosophies, creating a model forest here at the park, planting trees out by the thousands. And then many generations of Billings women took that call of stewardship and eventually Mary Billings's granddaughter, who married Lawrence Rockefeller, and the Rockefellers gifted it to you, the people of the United States, as a national park to interpret the history of conservation stewardship and demonstrate contemporary stewardship practices.
Keep going.
Is that good?
You can hear it change, so you want to go a little
Yeah.
further. There you go.
Oh, you want that?
See how that goes blunt?
Buddy, yeah, the blunt. Thank
Exactly
you.
right.
All right. Oh, I heard the sound.
I think you're a natural.
Come on in a little closer if you can, guys. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this maple tree here because it's a good example of the type of tree that your tables came from, and the wood that comes from the maple, that nice white, closed-celled, really smooth, really hard wood is used for things like Major League Baseball bats and bowling alley floors. And similar hardwood tree here is white ash. And that's what we're gonna see Ben cutting when we get up in the woods.
Tell me about the stain to finish the tables.
We do not use stain. We pride ourselves in all-natural finishing. It's called Vermont Natural Coatings. It comes from whey, which is produced by cows.
Yeah, for cheese making.
Exactly.
There's curds and there's whey. It's like Little Miss Muffet. When you make cheese, you end up with the curds, which are the solids, and then the whey, which is like byproduct.
Byproduct. It's essential in a natural, organic finish. It doesn't make the maple look yellow.
Oh, right.
It makes it appear very clean, crisp, and more white.
It's so full circle that you could be eating cheese on this table that's covered in whey.
And what I love is we join the 16 tables together to make one 100-foot table on the bridge.
Wow.
Exactly. One of the most important things for people to understand, it is okay to cut trees down,
Right.
but in a sustainable and regrowable manner. And I see a cycle. That tree we cut down to make tables, we go back into the forest and plant a beautiful young seedling tree. So these tables, I would imagine, will be around for 300 years.
Wow.
I won't be, but tables will.
Well, that's part of the
they'll have the
appeal,
mark to
right?
make-
Your craft outlasts you.
My wife has a handle from a Roman pot from 2,000 years ago. And on the handle, you can see the thumbprint of the potter. And not only the thumbprint, but the nail as he pressed the handle onto the bottom of it. Wow. And that transports you back. You can almost speak to those people 2,000 years ago. Human beings more and more are railroaded into mass production, mass technology.
Hi.
Things that are made by human hands are going to become more treasure. Just like with the naked table, you can almost speak to those people.
Hi, I'm Amy. Nice to meet you.
Because the tables carry the soul of the people who make them.
You know, I've told a lot of stories about small towns around this region. But today, being in this community and getting a window into how vital the community connections are, I feel like I'm reminded once more, after all these years, why I love living in New England so much.